go.
G,
It's
good,
about
my
time,
boy.
bro. I'm good.
In LA, man.
In LA.
Beautiful LA.
Good to be back.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. It's definitely been a long time since we linked up out here. Been about a year. I think the last time I saw you was when I was on tour last year with Big Baby Gucci. So it's been good to come back out, you know, get back familiar with what I like to call my second home type shit. So it's all good.
Man, why don't you introduce the people to who you are, man?
My name is Zay Kyro. I'm an artist from Chicago, Illinois. I'm 22 years old. Graduated from USC this year. Trojans fight on. I've been making music since I was about 15. I'm a songwriter as well, and I mean I'm a tourist.
Okay. Yeah, man, you said LA is your second home, man.
100%.
So you've been cooking up every time you come out here.
Every time I come out here, it's all work. I mean, it's a little bit of play, but it's mainly work. You know what I mean? It's like I like to come out here and just like hit the ground running. 12-hour studio sessions, 9-10 songs a session. Started like pumping out music videos and shit, concerts. This is the first trip I took out here where I didn't do a show. So I'm always like coming out here just to like, you know, push the content and just like get shit like bumping for real.
Wow. What inspired you to do music?
I mean, I've been doing music my whole life, like for real. Like since I was like 5 years old, damn near since I was like 3, playing drums and playing the piano, learning how to play the piano when I was a little kid. I was in my school's choir at Skinner West. We called it the Glee Club. I was the only nigga up in there, the only dude, and everybody was making fun of me and shit, saying, "Oh, like you the only dude up in the choir, that's kind of gay, blah 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 blah." And the whole time, you know, 2023 rolls around. I'm, you know, 22 now. And now everybody that was talking all that shit now wants to, you know, showing love and all that shit, which is cool. I'm not gonna hate or whatever, but the cool thing about it though is like music for me has always been like therapy. You know, like when I would be in class, like I couldn't function if I didn't have my headphones on, listening to music. And also, you know, my mom and dad are very musically inclined. My dad's a DJ outside of his main job. Yeah, he DJs, and my mom, you know, my mom used to be like a Spanish dancer, like a salsa dancer and shit like that. So, you know, just someone who's grown up in like a really like predominantly music made household. Like it just felt for me like it was the right thing, like the right path for me.
And what would you say is like the biggest inspiration for you making music?
I'd probably say like, definitely because it's, you know, it's my passion. I love art, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't see myself doing anything else outside of music, you know what I mean? Like even if it was like behind the scenes stuff, like songwriting or, you know, like production, like it's just something that for me comes naturally. Not to sound like, you know, narcissistic, but it's something that for me that does come naturally. Like when I'm in my room, can't sleep, you know, I just want to start writing music. You know what I mean? Growing up listening to artists like Ellie Goulding and like Zed for the EDM aspect, and then Drake back when he was making like Marvin's Room type music, and like Trippie Redd as I got into my teenage years, Lil Uzi Vert, Migos, you know, Wayne, Tupac, Biggie are other inspirations of mine. I really like Imagine Dragons. Like my music taste is all over the place, but like one day I'm listening to drill, one day I'm listening to like EDM, one day I'm listening to like 80s pop, like Van Halen and shit, rest in peace. And then the other days I'm listening to like 90s rock, like Rage Against the Machine and like shit like that. So it really just fluctuates everywhere.
Oh, that's fire. What impact do you think Chicago has on your music making?
I think you know, Chicago is one of those cities that gets overlooked a lot now in 2023 as far as like music impact goes. I mean, you got Kanye, you got Juice WRLD, Rest of Soul, you got Smashing Pumpkins, you got Common, you got Chance the Rapper, and Taylor Bennett, Vic Mensa, Superboy. I could go on and on and on. Solo Cello. So I think for me, growing up, seeing these artists do what they're doing, it made me realize that okay, if I can get a foot in the door, and really just stick with it, then I'll be okay. And like I learned the easy and hard way that I need to just make music for myself, and if people support me, they're gonna support me, because Chicago's a cutthroat city. You can't be from Chicago and expect everybody to fuck with you off back. You have to make it out the mud yourself, whether you live in the hood or the suburbs. Everybody is the same out there. It doesn't matter what your skin tone is. They're all like heavy cutthroat, like, you know what I'm saying? Good people, but we don't take no shit, and we don't just instantly approve everything all the time. So that for me was like, you know, not really necessarily wanting the approval, but wanting to show what I was made of, and doing it in a city like that is very cutthroat, very like take no bullshit. It just, you know, it inspired me to want to keep pushing harder and harder and harder.
What do you think is one of your main objectives and goals with making music?
Definitely to be heard. You know what I mean? Like, as far as like fame goes, I mean, obviously everybody wants to be famous. Like, who doesn't want to be famous? But like, it's not really a big goal of mine to be famous. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the fame comes with like good content, good music, and talent, as long as you're, putting in the work. But I feel like for me, one thing that like my major objective is, one, I want to get signed by, a label that's going to give me the freedom to do whatever I want to do. If not, I'm just going to stay independent. Two, I just want people to hear my story. Like, I feel like through a lot of my songs, like I talk about, mental health issues like depression and stuff like that, because that's stuff that I deal with, and, heartbreak and, so on and so forth. And I feel like it's music that, it can relate to the youth, but it also spreads a message. You know what I mean? Like, so like the beat structure is like beats that these kids like to listen to nowadays. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like you hear the lyrics and you're like, oh shit, okay, Kyro's actually talking about some serious shit. Let's take a second to dive in. Because that's kind of like what J. Cole did. Like when J. Cole first came up to get his foot in the door, he was making poppy music, just, talking about whatever. And then when he got on, he switched lanes and started talking about real shit. Like, that's how he did it. So that would be my second objective. My third objective is really just to have fun with it. Actually, that might be the first one. Just to have fun with it and make sure that my peoples are good. Make sure my mom and dad, who got my back since day one, are good. You know what I mean? So those are the three main objectives for me. Okay.
No, that's fire, man. What made you really want to rock with me through this whole thing?
That's a good question. That's actually a question you never even asked me off camera, so that's a good question. When I first met you at Chan and Valentina's crib in 2021, I'm not gonna lie, at first, because I was 19 years old at the time, I was a little intimidated just because you had on all the clothes that I wanted. So like as a kid, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm intimidated to kind of talk to bro. But then as I started to like get to know you and I followed your IG and saw like the type of message that you spread, it was more so one of those things like, okay, this is a guy that is like self-love personified, ironically enough. And it kind of like inspired me just to like do better and be better for me. And like, you were always showing love to me from a distance when you didn't have to, especially because you barely knew me at the time. Like, you were always like treating me like big brother, little brother type shit in a respectful way. And then the more and more we started chopping it up, when I came out here when I was on tour and you slid to the studio and shit, and we were just chopping it up, cooking up, you know what I'm saying? The more I realized like that there was something deeper there, which is why I reached out to you in August. The other main thing that made me want to rock with you is that, I've had managers in the past, but I've never had a manager that was a person of color. And I think that does go a long way because having white managers, they can't really understand what a black man goes through and what they have to deal with as an artist. And I felt like I was kind of being like an industry slave to a lot of my managers in the last couple of years. And, it's no hate towards them. It's all love. Like, I understand that, I was not going to see eye to eye with people. And we might have disagreements ourselves as well in the future. Who knows? But seeing somebody who is your age, who is doing something that I've been wanting to do since I was a child and actually succeeding in it. I mean, look where we are right now. It inspires the hell out of me, and it just makes me want to get closer with you so I can keep learning from you. You know what I mean? And it also, I also feel like we'll be able to rub off on one another and just like be able to help each other both out. Yeah. Like, realistically, like, yeah, like this is like a manager-artist relationship, but it's also like there's so many facets in this game that a bunch of shit that I don't know, and I might know a few things that but you don't know in that certain avenue. Yeah. And it's like we can help each other like get to that point quicker. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. No, I really appreciate you, giving me those kind words, and having that outlook because, I think where we come from, oftentimes we don't give each other those flowers we need to when the person is here. So, I do want to give you your flowers as well. You definitely inspire me in ways you don't know, and it keeps me very youthful and energetic to be around your energy and just to see how creative you are and how hard you work and how you put your energy back into your craft. Like, that's so empowering, and it's the same thing that you're saying to me, you doing it for the youth. And that's all we doing it for is the youth anyways, to just inspire those that look like us and to give them a platform too, and to utilize our platforms to give them platforms. So I just want you to know, like, I'm inspired by what you're doing too, bro, and keep pushing.
That means a lot coming from me. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
No, I mean, for real though, like, I know sometimes you gotta say it too. I could be thinking that, but you gotta say it too to let you hear it. So it's important for you guys to give people the flowers while they're here and show the love that most people need, because you never know, they may not be getting that love at home, or they may not ever getting that love in general. So,
and there's also nothing wrong with showing love. I mean, we're in a generation where everybody is like trying to gatekeep like what they do and everything. I mean, like there's nothing wrong with helping another person out. And just, you know, we all want the same thing. We all want to be the best in what we do, regardless if it's music, regardless if it's, you know, videography, if it's painting, culinary art, even if it's not art.
Yeah.
Like I think that's one thing that we are going to personify and just like kind of show people really well, is that like, you know, it's okay to like, you know, get each other to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay to, you know, be at a higher level and have somebody that's here and then help them get here, as long as they're not taking advantage. Yeah. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really understand. Kind of pisses me off, because I feel like some people do understand, they just choose not to care.
Yeah.
But I believe in karma, so, you know, it'll catch up with them eventually.
No, for sure. Are there any things you want to ask me?
Yeah, let's switch it around. So, you know, like I said, I've known you for about 2 years now, but I feel like there's a lot that I still don't know. So before I ask you questions, why don't you introduce yourself to the people at home?
Man, it's your boy T-Bell, content creator, self-love guru, and just a positive motivational force for those that, you know, feel lost, you know. Just a beacon of energy, you know, and a jack of all trades.
That's a good one. You were definitely a jack of all trades from everything I've seen in the last couple of years. So, what like inspired you to want to get into content creating? Like, what was like the driving force that led you to want to start making content for other people and just like, you know, kind of like turn yourself into this new person of self-love and just making content?
Well, the self-love thing was like, you know, I needed that because I didn't have that a lot growing up.
Right.
Like I was very insecure about certain things. I was a star athlete in certain times in life, but very insecure at times. So, you know, as I got older, I started to find self-love in my girlfriend. She was just a big motivational force.
Shout out to Danny.
Yeah, shout out Danny. Her being so hard and so focused, laser focused on content creation and using her platform to empower other women, it rubbed off on me like, whoa, I can do that too in my own lane.
Right.
And I'm still figuring out how to do it, you know, because, you know, men don't give each other the flowers the way women do.
Not in the slightest.
But, you know, I'm understanding that, you know, no matter what, you just keep your head down and you keep continuing to be that beacon, and people will find you. They will gravitate towards you no matter what. But I think early on I was hesitant and, like I said, insecure. But, you know, through it all, I just stayed consistent. I kept just trying to make content, kept just trying, you know, trying. And years of trying, you know, after being in LA for 5 years now, I feel way more comfortable to get out there and embody self-love and just be positive and making content that way and making content in different ways as well, whether it's fashion or lifestyle or, you know, sports. Whatever it is that I do and that I'm passionate about or that are my hobbies, I'm like, man, let me just put it out there. And because like I said earlier, I just want to utilize my platform to empower and uplift other young men that look like me or don't look like me, you know.
To go off on that, you know, we're two brothers trying to, you know, figure it out in the art scene. What do you think is one thing that you had to either, like a hurdle you had to get over, or a hurdle that you had to get over, or something that, like, you know, you're still trying to figure out as a black man in Hollywood?
I think one of the things that I really had to get over is that the thoughts that you think people have of you aren't real.
That's facts.
And it's hard to like really get over it because you're like, you're seeing all this content just hyper pushed at you. Like it's just so much of it that you're like, it overwhelms you at times, and then you're taking on opinions that aren't real. Right. Or you're taking on opinions that were never angled at you. And I think just realizing that other people's thoughts, you don't even really know what they're thinking until you sit and have a conversation with them. So I think just overcoming the voices in my own head and the voices in your head is the important part that you got to realize is like once you overcome that and just put it out, like you never know what someone might like. You may think it's trash, but somebody might love it. Exactly. And I think that part of it is the piece I had to really overcome. Like I still battle with it. You know,
me too.
I still got a ton of content and stuff that I want to put out and I haven't. Where I'm like hesitant on how to put it out. When it's just like, just do it, move forward, do it again, move forward, exactly. And just keep it pushing.
Facts. So we talked about, you used to be a star athlete in high school, college.
Yeah, high school, college.
I see you on Instagram all the time at these semi-pro leagues and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. I'm admitting this on camera. When I first saw that you played basketball, I was like, all right, let me see this dude hoop. Bro, you can hoop.
Yeah.
Where does basketball, what role does that play in your web of like content creation and just like being like a public figure? Where do you see like your athletic career like fitting in and all that?
I would say obviously like my competitive drive. I think like when I didn't go pro, fresh out of college, I was like in this depressed place for a while, limbo kind of. And then I started working with Jordan Brand in Chicago. And I always told myself, either as a kid, I was like, either I'm going to work with Jordan or I'm going to go pro.
Right.
And when that happened, it was just like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Right.
But then throughout it, all the ups and downs in that, all the ebbs and flows in that, I was like, man, I wish I could have just went pro. I still was like in my head, I wish I could have went pro. So I think it just plays a significant part. Like day in and day out, I still work out daily. I still hit the basketball court 2 to 3 times a week, if not more. And I've always been training youth and instilling in youth. I have an Instagram page called TYBL Hoops, and that's my name, Tyler Bell. I go by T Bell, but TYBL, and it's teach youth, build leaders. And that's just really all it's about. Is like I understand that in our communities, most times the only way you getting out is either sports or selling drugs. And then music now for sure. But it's sad to say it like that. But when you can start to understand that we can make tech cool, we can make being a doctor cool, we can make being a therapist, a politician, any of those things, you can make it cool. But if you don't see it, you don't think you can achieve it. But we see a lot of athletes, we see a lot of rappers, we see a lot of artists, we see a lot of those same things. So for me, it was just showcasing that you can be cool in different lights. Like sports for me was the thing initially. And as I pivoted and as I continue to pivot, I just want to continue to show and shed light on different aspects of coolness.
Facts. Before I get on the next question, I got to ask, you think you can beat me in a one-on-one?
Heavens, yes. I'm really good at ball, man. Plus, I'm not gonna say no on camera, but I'm just really good at ball.
He wasn't saying no off camera either, though. So it's he's not capping. I'm also not athletic like that anymore.
I trained and competed with pro athletes like at a very high level. So that it's just second nature to me to just want to compete like that.
Almost first nature.
Yeah,
that's dope
for sure.
Got a couple more questions for you. What is your favorite thing about LA? Because me personally, like I told you, every time I come here, man, it's just like I love Chicago. I do. Love it. But every time I come here, it just feels like a weight is taken off my shoulders. Mm-hmm. So for you, what is like your favorite part about LA? Whether it's the architecture, the aesthetic, the people, the food.
What did Kendrick say? The women, weed, and weather? It's just, it's just A1. I mean, I love the weather. I haven't been smoking or drinking the last 6 months, and I'm obviously in a relationship, but everything is it's just beautiful here, I miss the culture of Chicago, though.
Don't miss the weather.
For sure, but I love the weather here. That's the number one component for me, and, just living in the downtown area, being able to be 15 to 25 minutes away from everything.
Except for the valley.
Even the valley, if there's no traffic,
that's true.
25 minutes, 20 minutes, you at NoHo.
That's true. That's
so
very true.
It's like, I I don't know. I just love it. And then you can, up and down California, going to San Diego, going to San Francisco, IE, like just being able to go all these places, you're seeing so many different energies and vibes, and it's just dope. I mean, I feel like California in general is just like a place everybody has to come at some point in their lives.
Absolutely, I agree with that. 2 more questions. This first one, I'm gonna piggyback for myself off to you. So, is there anyone? I know we talked about your girlfriend Danny being a big inspiration for you. Is there anybody back at home, family-wise, that was like a big inspiration? Like for me, like I said, my mom and dad, been big inspirations on me like for my whole life when it comes to everything. I mean, they kind of showed me how to love by being together for 20 years.
Yeah, that's fire.
But I think the person who really inspires me is my older brother, Bakari.
Yeah.
I've seen that guy just triumph against all the odds time and time again.
Like that.
Every freaking time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what's going on. He's always
finding a way.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He finds a way when it doesn't even make sense to find a way. And he's also the one who kind of got me into the music. He plugged me with you. I wouldn't know you if it wasn't for him. So shout out to my older brother BK.
Shout out BK.
So is there anyone in your life that really inspires you from back home to just be who you are?
I would definitely give it to Mom, obviously, and then my older sister. Like you said, your older brother. My older sister, the original T-Bell, Ticey Bell.
There you go.
She, I was like 2 years old, 3 years old. No, how old was I? I might have been probably around 3 or 4. She took me to college with her. She graduated high school at 16.
Oh, nice.
So she was in college, freshman at 16, 17. By 18, 19, she brings me out to college with her and lets me visit her as a little baby, like a little kid, little baby, basically.
It's a dope experience to have as a toddler.
As a toddler, and had me in tracksuits just like this, had me in Nikes and Jordans just like this. And, at an early age, she was just that really cool, inspirational older sibling. Yeah, like a role model. And as we got older, she worked for the Salvation Army and Girl Scouts of America, and she just is always about giving back. And that's one thing our mother instilled in all of us, but she's just always about giving her time and giving back to others, almost too much, to where it hinders her. But that's just how we were raised, and it's just rubbed off on me so much. And she inspired me so much to just want to complete things and want to be the best I can be,
100%. This is the last question I have. First of all, that was beautiful sentiment, by the way, about your sister.
No,
shout out to the OG T-Bell.
No, shout out to T-Bell.
So we're about to start a brand new public, relationship of manager to artist. We've already kind of had this big brother, little brother, mentor to mentee type of bond going on over the last year and a half. What do you think is going to be our biggest succession over the next year and a half? And what do you think is going to be our biggest hurdle?
Well, I mean, I think as far as success goes, I think the sky's the limit. I think it's, just being gentle on the mental, not stressing yourself, and understanding that, we moving at God's speed. I think the biggest hurdle would be being able to get you in front of the right people the right way. But, I think, like I said, just moving at God's speed, that everything will work itself out. But I think, in today's society, you don't want to blow up too fast, or you don't want to do anything too quick.
And then burn out.
So, I think one of those big hurdles will just be, just making sure we get you in the right light, the right way. But I don't think, anything is the wrong way. I do feel like any publicity is good publicity.
That's true.
And as long as you got a good heart and a positive mind toward it, we'll be able to maneuver it together, and you'll be able to maneuver it individually as well. So, I think the sky's the limit no matter what. And just making a good game plan to attack this digital era the correct way. I think that's like a gift and a curse in it. You know, it's just that we have access to the internet in a way that can work in your favor, but then also like
work against you.
So you get where I'm at already. So just being, you know, level-headed through that, being harmonious, equanimous, you know, staying level-headed and balanced. And I think everything will just work itself out. Because you got a hard work ethic, and I think that's key.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. Like I said, my name is Zay Kyro.
T-Bell.
You're going to be seeing a lot more of us soon. Peace.